This is Erica Smith with Central Office Drainage, and we are going to go over how to export data from ORD into HEC-RAS. First of all, we need to talk about how HEC-RAS looks at data. HEC-RAS looks downstream, so we need to draw our center line in the opposite direction of flow. So we'll be going upstream of the direction of flow, opposite from what you would think of. So first, let's set our geometry. You don't necessarily need geometry, but I like to have a geometry just in case you have something like a situation size culvert or something like that, and you may need it. So let's set this to whippoorwill. Okay, and we're going, the stream flows from north to south, so we're going to draw this south to north. We're going to just roughly get the center line. I've got the background map turned on, and I've also referenced in the terrain and turned on contours, just the minor ones. I didn't have the major ones turned on because the text is really weird looking, just so you know. So now that we've got our center line drawn in, we're going to draw in our overbanks, or our regular banks, sorry. We're going to use this level here, RORTOBEX. So we're just going to use regular smart line for that. We're going to go in the upstream direction as well. So it looks like our banks are about here. Preferably you have survey to follow. So you have break lines. And if you draw your banks in the wrong direction, you'll know because HECRAS will give you a negative value for your right banks and left banks. So let's draw in our other bank. Okay, so now let's draw in our overbank. We're going to use ROROVBNKEX. Those are also going to be in the upstream direction. Those look like to be about here. Just guessing based on the contours. And the aerial map. Again, it would be better to have a survey break line for this. Let's do the other side. Get under the bridge. Okay, so now that we have that done, now to draw in our cross sections. Cross sections go left to right according to downstream direction. So downstream is north to south. So our right is our left. So if you look facing downstream, this will be your left. So if you want to change your rotation, that's fine. If you get disoriented, it's whatever you want to do, if that helps you. I'm going to do that just for those, just to make it a little easier for people. So this will be going in the downstream direction. So left, this is our left, this is our right. So let's draw our first section, which is right near the bridge. And you want to get as close to perpendicular to the stream as possible. And you want to try to cross into the floodplain. Or at least get to the contour that the floodplain elevation gets to. Let's draw our other one. Okay, let's draw our other. So there's 4 cross sections that you draw for HECRAS. There's one that's so many feet upstream and downstream from the section or from the bridge, and then there's one that's like I think 4 times the width of the bridge, and then there's like another one upstream, and then there's another one so many times the width downstream for contraction and expansion. So let's get those. And you don't want your cross sections to ever cross. Okay, that looks good enough for now. Okay, so now let's start exporting to HECRAS. So what we're going to do is go to the terrain tab in the modeling tab. Let's go to hydraulic. Let's go to create HECRAS data. Click on our sections, following the prompts. Let's leave one out on purpose. Let's leave this one out. Right click to accept them. You can either set this terrain as active and right click or select it. Now let's select our reference line, which is the center line. Left overbank. Now since we rotated, left is actually left. Depending on your stream and if you rotate it, be careful of which is actually left and which is actually right. Since we rotated it, this is our left overbank, this is our left bank, this is our right bank, this is our right overbank. This is going to create a .go file. This is just a file that has a bunch of coordinates that HECRAS will then import. So this is going to create a geometry file or GIS file that we're going to import. So let's open HEC-RAS. You technically want to start a project file, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to. So let's open the geometry data. You can see here it's blank. Let's go to import GIS data. So let's browse to where you saved it. Mine is video with missing section 2. US customer units next. This shows that our import status new. This will show if it's new or existing. This will show if merge mode if you want to replace it, if you want to append upstream, downstream. If you miss part of a section that you need to analyze, you can append upstream or downstream. This is fine. All these are new, so that's fine. This is where if you want to import uh, and replace sections, this is where you would do it. So what will happen if you draw a cross section backwards is these two red dots, which are the overbanks, will come in a completely different location. That's how you'll know if they're drawn wrong. You'll know that you've drawn your center line for your stream wrong if it shows that it's flowing the wrong direction. So let's look at one of these cross sections just for the heck of it. So it looks like our overbanks could have been in a better spot, but we can change that graphically with the graphical cross section tool. Set those pretty easily. Just go through each one roughly, and then as you go to each section, you can fine tune them a little bit later. We can get them a little closer that way. So let's get that section that we missed, and let's actually reverse that one to show you what it looks like. Also, when you look at these, if you have the directions of the banks in the wrong direction, these right over banks will be negative. So that will be a huge hint that you drew them in the wrong direction. So this one is the one we left out. So we'll import two of these to show you what to do to either not replace it, or if you wanted to replace it with it going the wrong direction. So let me switch it. So if you need to switch the direction, you go to curve, drawing, curves, change curve. Click on it, click on the arrow, make sure that it changes. Look in your prompts, accept, reject, accept it, and it's changed. Okay, so now let's go back. Let's select these two, accept, select your terrain, reference line, left over bank, right over bank. Okay, so now let's go back to our geometry in HECRAS. Let's go to import GIS, navigate to where we saved it, video missing section 2, next. Here we do not want to replace our stream, we do not want to append it, we do not want to do anything to it, so uncheck it, next. Here we have this exists. We want to see what it looks like if it's in reverse direction. So yes, we want to leave that checked. If we didn't want to replace it, you want to uncheck it. This is a new one, so leave that checked. So finish. So see here, it looks really weird. The two red dots for the overbanks are way over here. That's what happens when you have it going the wrong direction. And those are some helpful tips with HECRAS as you're working with this. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email or call Central Office Drainage for extra help with HECRAS and exporting from ORD. Thanks.